I am like enamored with getting talent and making it fit, or do you go out and look for the fit and bring that in? As a head coach, does it matter to you? Will you make anything that you get fit somehow?
Well, I think that you want to fit pieces together, right? It is a puzzle when you're putting a roster together and you're trying to fit pieces together the best that you can, I think. And then once you got them here, you got to start taking a look at it and then making adjustments and moving it around. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay. And now with what you have here,
yeah,
do you see it as an easier being able to fit it maybe with a Maxey, George, Embiid, and all that?
I think that's a great fit. Obviously, the Paul George thing was a huge signing, right? But I don't want to underestimate or overlook, I think, all the other little pieces that I thought were vitally important. Where you want to start? You want to start with Drummond. I think it was really important that we got a really good backup or starter-capable guy when Joel's not playing, or a guy to play big minutes even when he is playing. That was huge in Andre Drummond. I think adding some veteran presence in Eric Gordon, bringing back Kyle Lowry, who I've been with for like 10 years now, certainly helps me in the locker room and helps me get the game plans across and all those kind of things. I loved how Oubre was trending upward at the end. And then obviously Caleb Martin. I think we hit PG at the top of the big group who was available, and then we hit Caleb Martin in the middle group that arguably was probably rated the top guy in that group too. So again, checking off a lot of things that we needed to get done, so they're all important.
You mentioned trending up there when talking about Oubre, but trending upward certainly in Tyrese Maxey and where he sits in this league. What's a day like today for you when you know the work that he puts in? You know, obviously, the leap that he took last season. What it's like for you to see one of your players get rewarded like this and have a moment like this?
Well, it's awesome. It's usually like the best thing, other than maybe winning it all. Like the next best thing right under that is to see, especially guys maybe that weren't just like a lock to do this kind of stuff, right? Like there's a handful of guys that where they're picked and how good they are, that they're going to get to this point, just a matter of time. But have a guy that was drafted a little lower, work his way through it, and then you get to be a small part of it. That's kind of what coaching is about, right? So, I'm super happy for him and his family, but mostly, as you guys know, he's an incredible guy to coach, right? He works. He's unbelievable. I could never stop him when I was coaching against him. I think the ceiling is still up there a ways for him and where he's going. So, and he's young, man. That's all exciting stuff.
When you have as much talent as you have on this roster now, is it like, do you have to ask these stars sometimes to change their games a little bit? And if you do, is that one of the hardest things that you have to do as a coach?
Yeah, I think going in, I wouldn't say that I'm going to come in there and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. Or I think I'm going to let it unfold a little bit organically. I would say that I'm going to have some patience. Certainly got some ideas, but most of them are in pencil right now, seriously about like what we're even going to run, what we're going to do. I would expect a lot of experimentation on schemes, both sides of the ball. And again, I always say this. I've no doubt when something doesn't work, I'll crumple it up faster than the next guy and throw it away, right? But it will unfold. I think what we play like at the end won't be what it's like at the beginning. Even like rotations, minutes, who looks good together, who's better coming off the bench, who's better starting, what's a second unit look like. All that stuff I think needs some eyeballs on it and some time on the court.
Is that tough for you to have that patience?
Not so much.
Okay.
I think there's times when it is, right? I think it's all about your situation you're in. I love it here. I love working for these guys. I think we're on the same page a lot. I think, this is all about winning, and I understand the pressures each and every night to go out there and win. But I also think we've got a pretty tight knit group here, both with our coaching staff and front office, that we know that's kind of where we're going, and we're willing to have a little patience to get to the end result in the right manner.
You're talking about adjusting games, something Joel Embiid has to do right now with Team USA. How much of him are you watching, and what do you think he's really getting out of this experience right now?
Yeah, I'm watching it all, obviously. Getting ready to go over and watch it in person here shortly, so looking forward to that. But listen, I think it's a great experience for him on a number of fronts. One, coming off the injury, I think it gives him a chance to get out there and play and get some quality work in the summer. That to me is like a given. Being around great players, great coaches, and then lastly, the thing that I love, I got a lot of. I'm biased towards international basketball. I've been involved in 2 or 3 different teams, so these guys play, man. Like, this is a real competition. Like, they are, these guys are giving everything they got, the commitment, the competitiveness, the passion that these other teams, or all the teams, play with is almost next to nothing. And I think that is a valuable experience. Every guy I've ever had go over and be a part of this and come back always comes back better when they're playing in the summer. So I'm glad he's doing it, and I'm excited for him.
It's funny. I'm watching yesterday. I think it was yesterday against Germany. He gets the ball kind of in a high post, does a little pump fake, and then throws like a little bounce pass underneath. And it's not something we haven't seen, but it's something like, wow, you add that to the repertoire. Oh, yeah, Maxey. Oh, yeah, Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it little things like that you see when he's playing with the best in the world that he can carry over to here?
Yeah, and I think, listen, he not only, we know he can score and he can do all these things. I think he really wants to be a facilitator more, and I think that the way people play him almost demands that he becomes more of a facilitator. So, every time he drops one off to somebody cutting to the rim, I'm excited because he's making the right play and showing that he's capable of it.
And we've talked about a number of different moves and a number of different things that have been done so far this offseason. You mentioned Oubre there for a moment.
Yeah.
He had talked at the end of the season just how much he enjoyed playing for you and
Yep.
how much he enjoyed this situation. What do you envision for him this season, and or just how excited were you that was able to be worked out to bring him back?
I am excited, I like him. I think that he's just so explosive. It enables him to do a lot of things. Get to the rim, guard, pick up different people. Work. I thought we got a lot out of him defensively last year. He's got the abilities. We just kept asking him to do more and more. I mean, some of it was out of necessity. There wasn't anybody else to do it at times because of injuries and stuff. But he kept taking it on, and it wasn't always perfect. His season was a little up and down. But I think what excites me is I think he likes it here. He understands the system. He knows we got some faith in him. I think he's got a contract now. Like, you know what I mean? I think he can settle in and just improve and probably give us the best version of himself that we've seen.
So I'll leave you with this: you've won an NBA championship. Could this be the most talented team you've ever coached?
I don't know if it is yet. That team we won it with in 2019 was awful good. When you start talking about Fred VanVleet coming off the bench, who's now almost a max earner. OG Anunoby didn't even play on that team. He was on that bench. I mean, he got hurt, but Pascal's also Kawhi, Danny Green, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka. That's some names now.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a team.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there.
So you're off to Paris right after here. Is that what it is?
Tonight.
Yeah? Well, listen, safe travels. We really appreciate you joining us, Nick, and good luck in everything.
Great to see you guys.
All
Thanks
right,
a lot.
Nick Nurse joining us, head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers.